Hello everyone and welcome to this month's Bram Stoker Book Club. I am your host this month, Belle. And this month, considering it's spooky season, it seems only fitting that we read together and discuss probably Bram Stoker's most famous work and a personal favourite of mine, Dracula. So grab your favourite copy of Dracula. I have this beautiful one. Let's pour ourselves a cup of tea. I think I'll have my drink in my Whitby Abbey Dracula mug. And let's discuss and look at all things Bram Stoker Dracula related. So I know that was a bit of a strange introduction, but I thought it was fitting because this is my creative design team project for Tracy Fox. All her links will be down below. And I am using basically the Just Chill kit that she came out with, I think a couple of months ago now. And when I saw two particular pages in that kit, my mind, because I'm me, went straight to, oh my gosh, Dracula. And then because the Just Chill kit has a lot of women sitting and reading in period clothing, I thought, oh my gosh, it's a book club. And then I put those two things together and I came up with the idea of, this is a journal of the Women's Bram Stoker Fan Club Book Club. And because it's Bram Stoker, I know he's done other things. I have collections of his short stories, but my mind then went to Dracula. So guys, that is a little bit of a journey into my mind. And we have ended up with a romantic, Gothic, Victorian book club / Dracula journal. So if you're new here, hi or welcome. But I name all my journals. So this one, although there's lots of women in this book club, this journal is called Allegra. So that seemed fitting. Music, Dracula, music of the night, all that kind of stuff. So let's get started. She is a hardback journal, about 6-ish by about 8 3/4, give or take. Hardback, 2 signatures. We are back to the yummy, scrummy fabrics. Again, this is the first large journal I have made since maybe March this year. I used to make at least one journal a month. I've made a couple of traveler's notebooks, but this journal took me longer than my normal journals normally take me, and they can take me a while because I've just kind of got out of the flow of it. So it feels really good to have completed a large journal again. So let's get started. We've got this kind of, it's not satiny, but it has a kind of shine red fabric, and then I've put black lace all over the top of that, and I've stitched it on and everything, which you can see, and you can see on the spine. I've then covered the top with this beautiful, really Gothic looking trim. On the back it actually moves up, so it has movement, and I wanted that. The front is glued because of this, but I wanted movement on the back because it gave me that feel of a Victorian lady's dress. We've got this beautiful trim ribbon, which again really gave me the feel of like a Victorian lace. We've got this deep red tassel because opulence, guys. It's Victorian Gothic. And then on the front, I've got this die cut frame. The black bit is embossed, which you can see the shine. We have a beautiful bat. There's a lot of bats in here, guys, in this antique gold embossing. We've got this gorgeous charm, which looks like something a Victorian lady would wear at their neck, but also with the red bead. Looks like a little drop of blood. And then we've got one of the gorgeous images. Now, these images are gorgeous as their own. However, I kind of wanted to show you with this Just Chill kit how you could take something that on one hand looks very kind of romantic and beautiful, although I have to say I love the way Tracy paired the images of these beautiful women in opulent sort of backgrounds with really grungy backgrounds. Love that. But I have really then taken it to another level. I have used crackling on a lot of the images, which you can see here. Not crackle glaze, just a crackle stamp. I've added other stamps. This has got little spiders. Again, pre-warning, if you don't like spiders, there's quite a few spiders in here. It's only stamps. It's nothing like in your face, but still. And there are two metal corners at the bottom in Tim Holtz in antique gold colours. I didn't put them at the top because we've got the lace and it just wouldn't go. And I thought they were fine just as is. So that is it. Let's open it up. It's so beautiful. Oh, I love this. I love fabric. So as I said, there's two signatures. We've got this on the front, back and back, which is beautiful scrapbook paper. Again, it gave me that kind of vintage Victorian feel. I've inked around it and stitched. It's obviously a lot of stitching. And this is one of the pages that as soon as I saw this, and the other one I used as a middle in part of the signature, I was like, oh my gosh, Dracula. Look at her dress. Honestly, this is my favourite image in the whole kit. I love the kit, but this is my favorite image, and you can see what I mean. I've used crackle on the background. We've got a spider hanging down. We've got flower stamps put through, and then there is texture paste in black that I've put antique gold over, and there were these splashes of red on some of the pages and that Tracy had already done, and I just used that and added that to add some detail. I'll show you as we go through. All the edges are torn, they're not straight, they're all inked around, and all of the kit pages are stitched. So let's open. We'll use actually my version of Dracula, and actually guys, I picked this up at Whitby Abbey, their gift shop, when I went. So it seemed fitting to use that one. I have several copies of Dracula, but it seemed fitting to use that one. Plus the colours of it, the red and black, just really go. So this is the front pocket. This is actually, can you hear that? That's flocked. It's beautiful. There's her name. I always put one of my tags with a name in there. This is one of the tags. So this is one of the backgrounds and one of the beautiful ladies. Again, you can see I've added crackling to the stamp. We've got die cuts, we've got bats. It's backed. Some are tea stained, some are in my Brusho crystal kind of grey blue kind of colours. Some have more of a purple tint. There's a little bit of stamping. I didn't want to over decorate the backs. I do sometimes, but in this one I didn't want to over decorate the backs too much because I feel like there's a lot going on. We've got some vintage music paper, and I have used quite a few of the Tim Holtz Clip It stickers to kind of almost feel like words from the book, even if they're not. So we've got Secret, Black and Midnight, and look at her reading her version, and there's so much red in here, guys, and it just screamed Dracula to me. Then we've actually got a page that's dyed from a vintage Dracula book, and it says Dracula because some of the texture paste, which we've got the rose here, is in black with antique gold over the top. Some's just plain black. And then we have a little embossed die cut corner here, and we've got one of the tiny tags. And again, I've added some crackle paste just to give them an older look. There's some of those spiders on there. There is plenty of room to write in here, guys, but yeah, I also did want to decorate as much as possible. We've got some scrapbook paper here, but it has a sparkle to it. I hope that's picking up. There's some sparkle on there. And then this is, I'm going to move the book a minute. This is vellum, but it is gold. I'm hoping that shines. And then we've got some, so it's a large pocket. Hold on. I just wanted to grab something to show you. So it's a large pocket here, which you can see, and obviously with it being vellum you'll be able to see things through it faintly. I've also added some die cuts. These ones also have gilding, again gilding wax on them. Again, some of them will, some of them won't. Look at that page, guys. Look at the red. Let me try and get that up. But the Dracula. We've got some sari silk with some little lace flowers on there, black on black. This, we have several pockets again, and also, does this not look like the actress who played Bellatrix? Why can't I think of her name? Helena Bonham Carter. Doesn't that not look like a young version of her? I think so anyway. So again, we've got some crackle paste on here. We've got some lace. That is a pocket, which you can see. So I've got a little tarot card in there, and it says death because, you know, Dracula. There is gold embossing on here. Again, try and get that up so you can see it. In script stamp, and this is one of my magnetic pockets. It opens up for some hidden writing, and we've got some skull and crossbones stenciling on there. And then behind there is a pocket, and this is one of the stamps that I have, and I've used both red and gold embossing on there. You can write on the back, so that goes there. There's gilding all around on the black on here as well, on the pocket. And then I have this sheet in here, which is something I had in my stash. Again, I've torn around it. I've inked it with black soot. Lots of writing space. Vintage nature book page, which is all about a bat, because Dracula. We've got double messy stitching on that page. And then over here, the bat with long ears. I've just got some more space you can write. We've got one of these little images from the kit, some die cut and some little accents. Again, I've used lots of stenciling in here. This is 2 stencils. It's the script stencil, and then it has these like crosses in it. Well, I'm trying to think, have I done any? Have you seen any? I don't think you have yet. No, this will be the first one. Okay, so this is something that was in my stash that I thought worked brilliantly because it's Count Your Blessings. I did actually make it inspired by the idea of Dracula. He's got wings and everything. And this opens. We've got some washi. We've got some of my faux age tape, stenciling, a little rub-on down there. It opens up. And then this is a vintage book page as well, and it says Twilight, and it's a little poem all about Twilight. And then I've also done quite a bit of hand stitching in here, guys, in red, in a deep red thread. So, yeah, you'll see that throughout as well. And then we've got different book pages. This is from a vintage Scottish horror book. So I've added it to the page, stitched around and things. There's some more stenciling there just in plain black. I didn't add the gilding to that one. Again, let me show you. This is one of Tracy's pages. I've added crackling. There's a spider. There's some stenciling with skulls. And down here, I've crackled over the faces. If I bring that up, I've also added a little bit by hand, guys, red paint. Just dab, 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 dab on some of the necks, and then smudge some on other places as well. So, you know, went in by hand with a tiny little paintbrush and some permanent red ink, and just added just a little bit of red to some of these ladies' necks because, you know, got some of this gorgeous lace. And then we have a skull with some beads and like a gold spike there. Again, one of Tracy's pages. Oh, so what I have to say is the main kit I've used in this is Just Chill. But I've also added some of the backgrounds from A Little Regency because I saw some of those and they had lace, they had flowers, and one of them has the most gorgeous black lace and feather on it. And it just works so well with this kit. So some of the backing pages are, like this one, are from A Little Regency, which again, I'll leave down below. I've stenciled, added some bat stamping up here. We've got some skulls down here. This is from the Dracula book. You can actually see it says Dracula there. We've got a little gilded butterfly that's been stitched through, so you can see it on the other side. Oh, why this messy, guys. There are threads. There is stitching everywhere. So yeah, this it's just me. And then this, I think it's from a Latin book. It's actually from 1928. This is vintage. It's almost 100 years old. So I've used a lot of this throughout. There's some very faint stenciling. I'm not sure if it's picking up on there. That's one of the Tim Holtz stencils that I might have it, but it gave me the feels of, okay, I can't see it. I thought I had it right by me. It gives me the feels of like architecture in churches and windows. From, again, a vintage Dracula book. We've actually got Dracula. Used some tape there. And then we've got this pocket on the other side. So again, one of the images of Tracy's kit, but I've added some vampire teeth stamps, some crackling, and some skulls down there. You know, the kit's beautiful anyway and gave me Gothic feels. I just added a little bit more. So in here we have, well, first of all, this opens up for writing space. Then inside we have a pocket where I've embossed this eye because it always makes me think of Dracula looking through the window. And again, I've smudged some red ink on there. It's just black on the back. I left some black, some are backed, but I just thought, you know, you can use a white or red pen, which I think adds to it. This then opens up. You could write on here. You could put an image on here. We've got some of that 1928 book page. And we've got this embossed in a deep red double head skeleton. And then in there's a little pocket, a little tag. This one is backed, spiderweb. That just looks cute in there. So lots of writing space. Bats. You're going to see a lot of bats, as I said. Got some fabric here with some lace, a fabric pocket. This is something that I might have made on camera. You might have seen. This is from the Craftly Hall Tracy kit. So it's not from this, but it works. So you would have seen this. I've stamped on the back, but what I made to go inside the pocket is this, another one of Tracy's ladies, but I've actually cut her out of the square that she was on. Let me see if I can find one. So a lot of them came on squares or backing like this, and for most of them I've cut around the furniture. And then I've used one of Tracy's papers from the kit in the background with some of that vintage 1928. We've got a bat there that I've stitched through. There's all sorts on here, and it says seek the silence of the night. It opens up. There's that stenciling again that makes me think of windows and things. So you've got writing. I've left all the threads so that you can see the front and back, and I've just left it looking like that. Again, some of that vintage Scottish book page, some of the Tim Holtz tapestry that really went that I've stitched. This has got slight gilding on it, opens up, you can see all the stitching. Vintage music paper, again, if you've been here any time on my channel, you know how I like to theme everything in my journals. If you're new, you're going to see that I like to theme everything. So, got vintage music paper that says, "You made me love you." And it actually sounds like a Victorian name, Miss Florence Smithson, sung by Miss Florence Smithson. So I just thought that was perfect for Dracula. We've got more little beads. Again, this one looks like a little blood drop, so it just seemed perfect. We go over the page. So I also had a vintage, oh my gosh, I think this one's, I don't even know how old it is, but it's like a dictionary encyclopedia. And I went through and took lots of words out. So here we have the word vampire. I've stitched it onto some paper that's really grungy. I've smudged the vampire in red ink. We've got another little embossed corner down here. Lots of red, black and gold in this, guys. And then again, one of Tracy's tags. I've added some crackle. I've added a little bat on there. Spiderweb on the back. I love this one because you cut it out and it's wibbly wobbly. So that's good. Stenciling with skulls and crossbones. So here we have a double pocket. So first of all, this is what I was talking about. A lot of the images come like this, and then I've cut around a lot of them like I have here so that she becomes a pocket. And again, there's gilding. I don't know if that's picking up text on here in antique gold. So she's a pocket. This is a vintage photo from the 1930s. And it says that it's a church, but look at that in the background. Does that not look like something from Dracula? So you've got a vintage photo. There is quite a few vintage pieces in here. This is a Tim Holtz piece of ephemera that I thought was quite good. And I've left it white on the back so that you can write on it. Another one of my stamped pieces. So this heart is embossed in like this red and black embossing that I have. Stitched again, left blank. Like I said, I've left the threads. I just thought that worked so well. And then this folds down, guys. This is magnetized and it folds down for more writing space. So we have that. Another one of the beautiful papers from the A Little Regency kit. I've put bugs on here. Bugs, you know, Renfield. And then we've got text. Oh, and all of the pages, all of the Tracy Fox pages have also been splattered in black ink. So I forgot to add that. I've added some really messy extra thread stitching up at the top of this one. This is the middle. This is my second favourite page. And this is the page that screamed Lucy from Dracula. Tell me she does not look the most Lucy. I mean, I can't remember if Lucy's got blonde hair or not. But to me, this is Lucy. Everything, the dress, the style of the page, the colours, the look that she's giving. This screams Lucy. So you can see lots on here. I've added crackling. I've added spiders. I've added bats over here. And just by Lucy's neck, she has a little bit of red. I said, I had fun with this one, guys. I had a lot of fun. We've got this pocket with this gorgeous embossed in red is skulls and roses. We have one of these index cards, which if you watched my Brusho Crystal dyeing video, you will have seen I used some of these. And we have the L for Lucy. We have the bug paper, some Tim Holtz, and it says, an eccentric but very estimable gentleman. Estimable. Yeah. So anyway, that goes in there. Works perfectly. And then we've got the eye on the background with spiders and everything. This is one of the pieces I actually made for Tracy's Creep on June. But it works perfectly in here because it looks like, let me get it up. It almost looks like Dracula. I feel like anyway, in his long coat, walking into either a graveyard or a house. And it does say in the dead of night. And we have a charm on there. So I will say that I have used a couple of pieces from Creep on June, as well as use some of them for inspiration for some of the pockets. You may see some things and think, I think I saw you make something like that. Yes, you probably did. More stenciling. Added some red on the back. Love this pocket. We have the bats with the gold that picks up. What horrors they had seen. And then I have this, again, it's a Tim Holtz die, window die, and I've done it in this mottled red and black embossing powder that I have that almost comes out pinky, and antique gold to go with the bats. And behind that, I've used one of the Tim Holtz acetates with holes in the window, which you will see. And this is the first of several of my own photographs, guys, that I have taken when I've been at Whitby. So this is the first, and I love it because it looks like, if you look there, you can kind of see that it's something. And then this is the tag. So you can see there the acetate even better with the holes in it. Perfecto. And then this is the tag guy, and that is Whitby Abbey through the whalebone arch. So this is from the other side of Whitby looking over. I've obviously put that on there. I've used Mod Podge to give it like a photo feel, because it is a photo, but I wanted it to feel like an old photo. And I've actually edited these photos too, so it didn't look like this originally. It was in full colour. Again, you can write on the back all in black. We've got script embossing and gilding. I've added little bats. We've got messy stitching. We've got lace. And I felt like this archway mimics the arch of this window. So it looks like you're looking from your window over to Whitby Abbey. Love it. Again, vintage music paper there. All right on there. Bat stencil. This is another beautiful double pocket. So we've got this embossed frame, and what I've done is I've cut out the middle. So you can undo this lace, but these two bits here work as a pocket. So you can put a larger card. This is all stuck down, but these are pockets. So you can tuck that in. You've got the black lace. I've obviously inked and everything on there. I've used another Tim Holtz acetate sheet. And then in here, we've actually got one of the Tim Holtz cards. This one is backed with some black and gold stitching, splatters, get the words. And again, doesn't that, this looks like Whitby Abbey when it was full, when it was complete. An uninvited guest. We've got Bite Me as a charm on the edge, and we have that vintage 1928 Latin book page behind, so you could put anything in there, guys. But yeah, this is a pocket, and this does come off, so you could remove it if you want. There's a lot of bulkiness to this journal, but I love me a chunky journal. And this is a double pocket. Let me take everything out once again. I've used one of the pockets in the kit, and you can see I've added spiders, and then I've cut out one of the women again that came like this. So she had a background, and I've just cut around her. And doesn't she look like she's just waiting for Dracula? She's having the dreams of Dracula. We thought she was lost. That reminds me of when they're trying to find Mina, or they're trying to save Lucy. And again, stenciling on there. We have a large tag here, again came with the kit. I've added crackle, I've added spiders, I've added some red splatters to her in places. We've got some of the vintage book, we've got some of that flocked, got some beautiful lace. There's the back, that didn't need anything added to it because it's so beautifully grungy as is. Got a little bat. Then we have in here, we have this vintage tea card of a bat with a bug. So in the air, the Bumblebee series. So that goes in there. And then we have a coffin tag with gold gilding around the edge, embossed gold on the bat, some threads and everything. Again, you can write on the back of that. And there's the other side. Oh, and this is some of the Tim Holtz collage sheets that he's brought out, and this is that Dracula book. We've got some more stenciling, some lace. So you would have seen I made one of these for Creep on June, but this time I made it with this kit. So this is an acetate, you can see my fingers through it, of this beautiful woman sleeping. And you can actually even see on there, so this is what I mean, Tracy added some like red to some of the images that's on her face, and I was like, oh, I'm going to take that idea and go throughout with it. We've got embossing, papers. If you put anything behind it, you're going to see whatever you put behind it. So yes. And then on here, we've got a skeleton. And again, one of the little Regency kit backings that I've used to back some of the papers with. We've got bugs, we've got skulls, we've got splatter. Yes, yes, yes. And there's the back of that beautiful image too. Again, I've added cobwebs and like a stamp that's kind of a detailed background stamp as well. Some stenciling. We've got some gold charm. That made me think of Victorian earrings. We've got some of that 1928 book page there. There's the other side of that twilight with a rose. Lots of roses in here in embossing paste. This was the first tag I made for Creep on June, and again it just makes me think like she's going to Dracula's house. It says vanishing visitors, and then we've got like the graveyard there, and I just thought, you know what, that works so well. It's got the bats and everything. We've got some lace here, so yes, you will get my first ever Creep on June tag if you purchase this journal. We've got the skeleton stencil, which I'm in love with, the new one from Tim Holtz. There's that vintage back page, just the back with the long ears. We've got Purfleet, because Purfleet is in Dracula. So I managed to find that in that vintage encyclopedia dictionary. And we've just got some bits and some writing space. There's another part of the bat, because, you know. Again, I made one of these in Creep on June. With the skeleton couple. It was one of my favourite makes that I made. But in this pocket, I've got some of this dyed paper. Now, this is super fragile. It already has a couple of holes in it, but it's so beautiful. I wanted to add it. You could write on here, but you can also use it to just add decoration to your journal if you want. It's made using all kinds of inks and both Brusho and spray inks and all sorts, and crumpled, and it's just delicious, and I want to add it. And then I've made a CD pocket, a CD sleeve pocket, put that in there, which you can see I've used part of Tracy's kit, the papers. Then I've got this skull again, you can see that embossed, some bits and bobs. And then in here is another one of my photos. So the background is Dracula, and you will see that I've also stamped on the acetate the skull stamp, but I've matched this bit of paper up with the stamp itself, which I thought was quite cute. And then this is actually the graveyard right by Whitby Abbey, and it's looking out. So the other photo that you saw is taken kind of over here, but this is looking out next to the graveyard. These graves are so old, guys. It's considered one of the most beautiful graveyards in the UK. Not sure if I would say that, but it is beautiful. It is very, very old. Again, I've changed this. This does not look like this. I've edited this photo and I've put someone digging in the ground. I love how this came out. A bit of stamping, but obviously it goes in there, and you can see someone digging, and you can, well, the word someone digging and the graves themselves. Got to look at the red on there, more stenciling. So we have a double pocket here. Let me get this out, and then let me pull this out. We've got a pocket here with this lace. Then we've got more of that vellum with the gold embossing. This is a vintage postcard. I may even have picked this one up when I was collecting some of the Dora ones, but it's got a waterfall and these kind of grungy trees, and it just screamed Dracula to me, because that's how my brain goes. And then we've got this again. It's an embossed skull. It looks like it could be Dracula's because it looks kind of bat-like or animal-like, but then it's got this hat. We've got that vintage 1928 Latin. I've smudged some of the red. Again, you write on it, and then there is this metal embellishment, guys, that keeps it in place, and it says embrace, and it's got this rose on the top because, yeah, embrace Dracula, Mina. So that goes there. Then I've stitched a little red heart by hand on here. This is the back of that Dracula book. This is some of that vintage Scottish book page. Another one of the little Regency backing papers. Do you see? Because of the flowers, it just gave me kind of like, they look like stone, like crypt flowers. That's what I was getting, as well as the Victorians preserved flowers. So it gave me all those vibes. And I've crackled it, I've splattered it, I've added text, I've added spiders. And that is the back of this one. This is my third favourite page. And what I love, oh, I want to show you, there's embossing on here and gilding. There's so much to see, guys. There's stamping, there's flowers, there's all sorts. I wanted to show you on this one. This is one of the pages. And again, like I said, it's my third favourite. Firstly, that dress and that top, yes please, I need it. But on her hair she's wearing something, but it really gives me spider vibes. And obviously we've got the skull stamp, we've got spider webs, we've got crackling, we've got gilding down here. I've also put like a moth on there too, other side. So this one we've got Transylvania. You can barely see the word Transylvania because of the ink and the stitching, but it says Transylvanian Alps and it tells you all about Transylvania. I've added a skeleton, some stamping, all sorts. Again, vintage music page. It says sleep now serenely because, you know. And here we have embossed, have a little stamp again, little tag, put a little bat down there. Love this dress too. I would wear this outfit. Crackling on the back, and that goes there. Now this is a bit strange because this is so vintage, it actually came apart before but I couldn't undo it all because the whole journal was attached. So I've attached it to this page, so you can still use it, as you can see, but just to make you aware. Again, we've got one of these double pockets. So again, I've cut out one of these beautiful ladies. She's got stenciling all over her. Gleam came into his eyes. We've got another index card here. This is an image. I don't think it's from either of these kits, but I know it's a Tracy image that I just had, so I wanted to use. Got some paper. We've got bats, some spiders. took away the only thing he ever loved, because Mina, you know, he's searching for his lost love. And S for, I'm sure you guessed it, Stoker. And look at that, it just looks like blood on the back. It's fantastic. And you actually see that word say morning there for the song, which I thought was quite fitting. And then we have, was there only the two things in here? We have this flocked coffin, but you can see the back better if I turn it over. So that is a little tag in there. Got a little heart down here with some of this beautiful trim. I mean, gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous. Some bats. We have some scrapbook paper of bugs in webs. Again, I was thinking Renfield, and it's got gold, so it does shine. Gives a little bit of something. I love, 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 love this pocket. So yeah, so this pocket is, again, it's an embossed piece that's cut out. I've stitched the corners. I've used gilding on it. You can see that. And then I've used one of Tracy's beautiful images from her kit as vellum. And then there's actual stenciling behind. So the words that you can see is stenciled. And then we've got this beautiful bat whose wings actually move in this mottled red and black. But this is a top loading pocket, guys. So again, anything you put in here, you will see through all that. And these are all cut out. So yes, we've got some of that vintage Latin book page. We've got a double pocket here. So we have our second vintage photograph, and there's little houses there. It reminds me of the Cliff of Whitby. That's what it reminds me of. Frog in my throat. We've got the beautiful flocked here. This is one of Tracy's papers. And then again, I made something similar to this for Creep on June. So we have a little pocket here. Again, I've cut the lady off out, so she becomes a pocket. Some little Tim Holtz pieces, one wicked beast. This then opens up. You've got this little page that makes me think of a letter, because, you know, they wouldn't have a phone necessarily to call each other, so they'll write letters. Then we've got the tag. Look at the grunge on the back of that. And we've got this beautiful lady. And again, I've crackled, and yeah, she may have got a bit too close to Dracula. So we've got that, lots of sari silk, lots of tattered lace. I mean, yes, so that goes there. Then I have this that is embossed and inked with black, so it looks a bit like blood. And we've got another Dracula page. Then we've got this. This can act as a pocket as well, this lace. Some stenciling. Another one of these little pieces with the fabric tape and die cut and stitching and all that goodness. And yeah, I mean, I've added red on here. I've added stamping. I loved adding the crackle. It just gave a kind of grungy feel to it. And then we've got a little sort of heart here, a little glass heart with all red flowers in it. Another one of the little Regency pages that I've used skulls and crackle on. This is vintage as well. And this was so fragile, guys. When I added it to the book, I had to strengthen the spine firstly, the fold with some washi with skulls. It's called the Quiver, which I just thought was perfect. But then it kind of ripped slightly, so I did something to fix that. And we have a Tim Holtz piece here, which again acts as a pocket. Some more of that beautiful stamp. You would have definitely seen me make this kind of pocket for Creep on June, but obviously I wanted to use this kit for it now. So in here we've just got some paper that's grungy that you can write on. And then this is one of the images which I think is in the Just Chill kit. And then we've got a little bat. This is magnetized. This opens up. You can write here. We have a pocket. This opens up, so you can write all on here. It's all stenciled, guys. In there is another pocket with this skull on there. And then I like to do it so it matches. And then in here is a little pocket, which I've just put a little Tim Holtz like ephemera piece, but you could put whatever in there. And then obviously I've used stenciling on here as well with gilding, antique gold gilding paste, and that will close this up. So love that. Some more paper. Lots of stenciling, embossing on here. And this is another one of my personal photos, guys, that I've edited. This is Whitby Abbey. I've ripped it down. I've grunged it. Some of them I've added die cuts to. All of them have been mod polished to give you this gorgeous feel and also to protect them. Some of them have had words. Some of them have had bats too. But I wanted to leave this as is. Beautiful. Another pocket here with, again, one of the beautiful ladies from the kit. I've actually got skull texture paste and embossing on there. And then this is one of the tags. So I made a collage sheet from my scraps. I used that for this tag. Used one of the beautiful ladies. Put crackle paste all over it. Like I said, I've done that with everything. Double stitching, skull there, bit of red. And then that. And then this is a vintage postcard. It's supposed to be Queen Elizabeth Room in Penhurst Palace, Kent. But I just thought, does that not look like what you would imagine Dracula's castle to look like? So that's in there. And then we have this page, which I was gifted ages ago. But it is, well, it's a cat. It's the inside of a cat's body. You see its teeth and its ears. But it gave me bat feels because of the ears and everything. We got some more of that collage paper. But yeah, so I don't know. It's in here. It's a bit creepy. It's a Dracula book. We've got this beautiful beads with a little black raven on the back. Beautiful deep reds and black sari lace ribbon. Skeleton. We've got keys to the castle. And we have another one of my photos inside Whitby Abbey. This one I've added some Phlox paper to. All was dark again. Stenciling. Got another one of those words from the dictionary / encyclopedia. It says Whitby. It's going to say Whitby. We have to have that in there somewhere because, again, if you don't know, he was inspired by Whitby Abbey, Bram Stoker. So that's why there's a lot of Whitby in here, guys. And we've got the feather. This is the page that when I saw this in the little Regency kit, I was like, oh my goodness, Gothic, beautiful, works brilliantly. And then we have this beautiful page, which is from the Just Chill kit, which is the main kit I'm using, as I said. We've got crackling. We've got all sorts. We've got a little pocket down here. And we have some of that 1928 book page. Look at that. Look, we've got little bugs. And there's a little word saying poison up here. So I've tried to blend it with the kit. So sometimes you really have to look carefully. Here we go. This is Whitby Abbey here. There's the sea, there's the houses. I've really grunged it up. We've got little bats, messy stitching. As I said, I've used several of my photos in here because I love adding my own photos to journals. Some of that crossbones, texture paste with gilding, pocket here. This is the other side, I think, of that cat. Yeah. So it's the muscle of the hyoid and larynx regions, whichever. But anyway, I thought it worked. You would have seen me make one of these in Creep on June, but I wanted to make one with this kit. So I'm really showing you how, you know, I know you liked a lot of what I made on Creep on June, but I want to show you how you can take that inspiration and add them to your journals. One of the images from the kit, love it. Some of the flocked, little bat with gilding. The storm raged on. Some fabric, some texture. This opens up for writing space. And then there's a tuck spot here, and I've used, again, that vintage 1928 Latin book page with the embossing stamp that you can write on. I just love that. There's that book paper again. And here is one of those vellum pockets like we have on the front with the gold, with some die cuts, with a little urn. And in here we have one of the tags from the kit that I've then added another embossed in red heart onto some of that 1928 book page with some texture paste, a spider on the back, and then that fits in there and you can just kind of see it through. Love it. Another double pocket here. I've used Brad's because I used Brad's in the first signature as well for one of the pockets. This is a Tim Holtz frame. I thought it worked perfectly. And again, this red here on the face was actually already on the image when Tracy created it. So I just then added some red onto the neck. I was just inspired by the red, guys. So in the back, we have a vintage. I can't even remember when this is from. It's really old. It's really old. It's 1800 and something, I think. It's got it on here somewhere. But it's like a, what they call telegram. So yeah, it's super, super old, guys. So that's in there. Then we have some more of that beautiful grunge paper. So yeah, whoever buys this journal can, you know, use that how they see fit, but I wanted to add it. And another one of my photos, which is from the inside of Whitby Abbey. I've got the howling of the wolves, and I've stitched some crosses on there. This one is backed as well. Like I said, I wanted to leave, so there's a pocket in there and a pocket behind. I just think they look, because little crosses are also kisses, you know, you put them in the back of the card, so I wanted to use them. Some of the gilding, the black gilding paste. This is the other side of that quiver paper. So what I had to do is, because it kind of tore here, I added some of this tapestry washi from Tim Holtz, because I've been using it anyway. It looked lovely. Before I did that, I actually added some tea stain paper, glued that down over it, added some of this tapestry to really strengthen it. And then on the back, I've actually added some of the, look at that paper, guys. I've added some of my faux aged sellotape, and that's now more secure because I really wanted to add it in there. Then another one of those backings, skulls, flowers, everything on there. That back page, again, even there I've got flowers all through here. I've stamped, the stamping on all these papers, it's just kind of looking, and you won't always notice straight away what's where. Again, a little piece opens up, you can see the stitching. Bats, love this. This is from the Dracula book, and it's got his wolves on it. We've got a little bit you can write on. Beautiful flowers that I've used throughout. It actually says Dracula there, look. Got some more of that tape. Then this is a pocket. This one, the beautiful women in the kit. Again, I've added a bit of blood by hand with a paintbrush just to give that feel. We've got this little heart down here has embossing on there. And then this, I made this a little while ago, but it works so well with this. But it was just a normal tag that opened, and I've now made it into a journal. So the only thing I added to the front was a bat in embossing. And then inside it had this paper anyway, but I've added, it's a little coffin journal now, a mini one. And this skeleton was already in here anyway when I made the, basically take the journal out and you've got the tag I made. So yeah, calls answered day or night. Well, not so much in the day, but that kind of fits in there. We've got some beautiful Tim Holtz collage, and down here we've got the Carpathian Mountains. Again, linked, we've got a little bat there, some stitching, stenciling. We've got little teeth and a bead that looks like a blood drop on here. Got this gorgeous pocket, which is collaged, used some of the bits from the kit, but then I've also used some scrapbook papers and some Tim Holtz, and there's some more of that embossed skull. But again, this is acetate. It's backed onto the vintage music paper. It's a side tuck, so you can put something in there. I just thought she's gorgeous, and she's reading her book. There's the vintage music paper. Final page, we've got this giant heart that's all embossed in gold and that beautiful red, and then we've got a black bat on there, spiders, stenciling, all sorts, lots of spiders on this page going all the way down. It's on the tag. She's really been bitten, she needs help. There's a lot of spiders on here too, some stenciling on the back. She tucks into there. Then we've got the back, we've got flat moths on here and all sorts of bits and bobs, and that, guys, is the end of the journal. So that is Allegra. There is so much in this journal, guys. There's so much to see. There's so much that, you know, it will take you 2 or 3 times to maybe see some of the stamping and all that kind of thing, because I really wanted to blend it with Tracy's beautiful pages. I didn't want it to look like it was separate from the page. I wanted it to look like Tracy had actually deliberately done it that way. There's so much embossing and gilding wax and little bats and so many stenciling. You've got 2 vintage postcards. You've got 2 vintage photos. You've got vintage book pages and music pages used throughout. And obviously you've got my own personal photos. And yeah, I just love this. I consider this the journal of the women of the Bram Stokers book club journal. Maybe kept by maybe Allegra's one of the people in the book club. And so this is her journal where she's documenting their trips to Whitby, because I have a feeling they would meet up once a year and go to Whitby, a bit like people do now. And some of the letters and things. Oh yeah, because you've got the vintage telegram too. Some of the letters and things like that will be from other members in the club, and just little bits and snippets and things that she stuck in. And this is what I feel like Allegra is a member of the Bram Stoker book club, and maybe the photos are photos, or the lovely images of the women in here are the other members that she's put in her journal to remember them, and you know, so they can get together. I'm sure they read other things than Dracula, but I have a feeling every single woman in this book club that Dracula is her favorite, and maybe some of them are closer to the figure of Dracula than others. Check the necks, guys. Check the necks. So anyway, this journal will be available in my Etsy if you are interested. I've loved working on this. It felt so good. It feels very me. And it's been a long time since I made a really Victorian romantic Gothic journal. So I've had a lot of fun with this. I really hope you enjoyed this. I know it was a bit of a long video, but there was a lot of detail to share with you. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this. If you're interested, do check out my Etsy shop down below, because Allegra will be available in my Etsy. And yeah, don't forget, you can always contact me through there as well. So that's it for now. So me, Allegra, and the Bram Stoker Women's Book Club and my Dracula book are going to go now, guys. It's been a good session. Who knows what book we'll discuss next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Check out all the links down below where you can find my Etsy and Tracy's kits. And I'll be back again soon. Until next time, guys, watch your necks. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots and lots of spooky, crafty fun. Bye for now.